You are not doing manifestation wrong necessarily, but you may have a little gunk under the surface. Today, I'm chatting with best-selling author and energetic alignment guide Kelsey Aida about money blocks, abundance, spirit guides, and why manifestation requires a little more than simply just thinking happy thoughts. We're diving into Kelsey's brand new book, The Manifesting Fix, and her refreshingly grounded take on creating a life you love. And we're going down my favorite rabbit hole in this episode because this one definitely mixes the woo with the do in all the best ways. Here we go.
Welcome to the Manifestation and Money Podcast, the show where we tackle the taboo topics of money and manifestation. I'm your host, Jen Schultz, former 9-to-5 grinder who ditched the status quo and went all in on creating a life I love. Expect expansive conversations, practical strategies, and plenty of reminders that there's more than one way to create a life you love. Ready to expand what's possible? Here we go. Welcome to the Manifestation and Money Podcast, Kelsey.
Thank you. I'm so excited to be here. Two of my favorite topics.
I know, mine too. So right off the top, we know this is going to be a good conversation. So I'd love for you to share with the listeners who you are and what your story is.
Yeah, so I'm Kelsey Aida. I'm an energetic alignment guide. I'm a best-selling author. I write books about manifestation, affirmations, mindset, self-love. And I really fell into this work because in my late teens, like early adulthood, well, let me backtrack a little bit. My whole life, I was training to become a professional dancer. And as many dancers' careers get crushed early on via injury, that's what happened to me. And when that happened, it was like right before I was about to go to college on probably what would have been a dance scholarship, like audition for some companies, like make this my life, my career. And so that was just a really devastating experience for me that kind of led me down a slippery slope into a depressive episode that lasted about 3 years. And I was just in the depths of it. And one day I was like, this is dumb. I don't like being depressed. I don't feel like life is just meant to be miserable. So what's a girl got to do to get some help around here and feel better? And so I kind of said this Hail Mary prayer to my spirit team, to God, to the universe. And I was like, help me, send resources, send help. I will do whatever it takes to feel good again, to be happy again, to be healthy again. Just send it and I'll do it. So then, of course, when I said that prayer, it was answered with lots of information, resources, help, therapists, shamans, people who helped pull me out of the slump. And in that is when I really got interested in manifestation. And I was like, oh, your thoughts can help create your reality. Interesting. This is explaining a lot. Oh, you can raise your vibration by doing certain practices. Oh, if you're connected with your spirit team, life is easier. Oh, alignment makes life better. Okay, cool. Let me start teaching this stuff because it's working for me. And so that's when I decided I wanted to be an author. And then that spiraled into the High Vibe in It podcast and international retreats and online courses and more books. And so, yeah, that's kind of the long way to say that I had my dark night of the soul. I got better. And now I'm sharing what helped make my life better and healed me and makes life more fun and magical and awesome, because I think quality of life is like most important thing, which is why I think it's so important for people to be financially resourced, especially when the value of the dollar is crumbling. So money feels like harder than ever in so many countries that are affected by that. And when you can align with abundance and kind of get rid of some of those money mindset blockages, you just open yourself to more opportunities regardless of the general circumstances and climate. So that's what I like to do now.
Thank you for sharing that. And let's take the conversation right there. Let's go into the economy. You're in the US, I'm in Canada. The same things are happening to our dollars. It's not that there's a lack of money. Our governments are printing money faster than they have ever done in the entire history of money printing. So it's not that there's a lack of money, but people are feeling that way. So how can we help people flip from feeling like there's a lack of money and help them connect with the abundance out there?
Yeah, you're so right. It's not that there's a lack of money. In fact, there's more money than there's ever been, which is actually bad because we don't want to have an infinite money supply where they can just keep printing money and dollars, because when they do that, ever since I think it was 73 when the dollar in America got uncoupled from gold, so it was no longer tied to a gold standard, that's when the money got a little bit broken. And then ever since COVID, when they started printing it hardcore, that's when it got really, really broken. And that's why when you go to the grocery store, everything costs 5 times more than it used to, because your dollar isn't worth as much. So you need more dollars to have the same amount of purchasing power, which is not to be like some orange pillar, but that's personally why I buy Bitcoin. That's a whole another conversation for another day, probably. But when it comes to manifestation and money mindset, it's like, okay, if money is actually technically more abundant than ever, even though in daily life you're probably feeling the squeeze, how can we shift our focus when we are feeling excited and expansive and opportunistic towards how am I maybe not approaching this in a out of the box way? So what I mean is most people are taught to, go to college, get the job, then maybe every couple of years get a new job and apply for the raise and blah, blah, blah. And it's like, okay. Yes, that can work, but what if there was a faster way? What if there are ways that you've never heard of and the universe is just asking you to get curious about them? What if you were just a couple ideas away from this totally other thing that would make you way more money? But if you're so stuck in the thought of money is so hard, money doesn't grow on trees, they just keep printing it, everything's so expensive. If you just get stuck down that rabbit hole, you don't have mental capacity to receive those ideas, and you're not necessarily a vibrational match to those opportunities. So the shift would be, okay, let me write down all my detrimental money beliefs, which is probably going to be a lot, right? So all your programming, everything bad, yucky, sticky that comes up when you think about money. And I want you to go through those one by one and be like, one, is this an absolute fact, or is this just like an opinion I've been practicing for a long time that I would rather not practice or not believe anymore? And sometimes just that question alone is enough to throw the belief in the garbage. Or two, if that's not enough, look at that belief and think, what would I rather believe about money? What's something that actually might be more true and also feel more expansive? So, for example, if you have a belief that all rich people are evil and you're like, oh my God, Elon Musk, hate him, Bezos, hate him, all these people, you're just like hating on all these like self-made people. Maybe subconsciously you're pushing money away because you don't want to be like them, right? They are the enemy. They are the upper class. They are the ones stealing all your opportunities, blah, blah, blah. But it's like, okay, if we didn't believe that all rich people were bad, we could be open to the belief that there are some people using their resources for good. And you could even believe if I was one of those people and I had all that money, here's how I would use it, right? That's a more excited, expanded way to look at things. That's going to open you to the flow of money versus restrict it from coming to you. Because money, it likes to feel invited. Okay. It doesn't want to be like forcing its way into your life. So, how can you open your mind to more money, more opportunities, thinking about how money is good, how money is a resource, how money can benefit you and your family and your community? Staying on that more positive and true side is really, really helpful.
Yeah. And do you find, like, if you say to somebody, jot down what you think are your money blocks, do you think a person intuitively can see what they are? Or do they sometimes need some kind of external help to see them?
Yeah, that's a good question. I think that some are common and obvious. Like, for example, like money doesn't grow on trees, or like my parents always told me that we couldn't just have things just because we want them. We can't afford it, or money is hard, or, there's a lot of common ones that honestly, if you just Googled a list of limiting money beliefs, you'd probably see yourself in a lot of them. So that might be a good place to start. AI is a friendly tool for this. If you're like, hey, ChatGPT, can you help me uncover some of my money blocks? It can ask you some questions that would help bring things to light. I personally have created a little mini course that I give my students that people can buy for 99 bucks. And it's basically like a workshop that workshops them through how to identify those beliefs and then how to kind of overcome them and make quick shifts. but there are definitely common ones and common themes. So one of the best questions to start with is just, when I think about money, how am I feeling and what are the thoughts that come up? And then once you look at those, you can assess like, okay, this seems like it's probably helping me. This seems like it's probably hurting me. And then how can we flip those narratives and believe something more beneficial and probably also more true?
Mm-hmm. And how fast do you find people connect or can connect to that new belief? Because it's one thing to write it on paper and be like, ooh, I want my
Yeah.
new belief to be this, but how do you actually connect with it?
Yeah, it depends how open and ready you are, I would say, to change your mind. If you've been practicing a belief for a really long time, it could make you so sick of it that you're ready to give it up in an instant, or it could make you so attached to it that it's going to need a little more convincing of the new belief, right? So Tony Robbins always says that to create a new belief, all you need is 4 pieces of evidence. So, for example, going back to the rich people scenario, if you think they're bad and you want to think that there are good ones and you want to be like those ones, who are 4 people, philanthropists, people that are amazing, that are doing good work, celebrities that you look up to, that have a lot of money, that are using it for good, like put those people on a list. And if you can get at least 3 to 4, your mind is going to be like, oh, this might also be true and or more true. That's interesting, because whatever you want to believe, you can find the evidence for. So I think the fastest way to support a belief that you want to adopt and ingrain into your being is to look for evidence of it, which you will find when you're genuinely looking.
Yeah, I like that you said they want to believe and you're genuinely looking. You can't just be taking, like, I can't make a list for somebody and be like, okay, here's your new belief. You, to craft up the belief of what you want, you're connecting with it there. And then, yes, to be choosing to look for the evidence, you can see how that connects the dots to connect you energetically to move forward into that new belief.
Yeah, and when you put your brain on that assignment, like send me evidence of this belief that I would rather believe and latch onto and really embody, it
Mhm.
will do the work. Okay. You'll start to notice different things that you weren't open to noticing before. So it's not just like magical woo woo. This is also like your brain at play looking for things that you're assigning to it.
Yeah, because our brain likes those kind of exercises. Even when I
Yes.
run into people who are like, oh, I don't have enough money. And we play the game of, oh, how can I? Let's come up with 100 ways that you can make more money. And they're like, well, I can't do that, but they can. And when they start doing it, like not every idea is a good idea, but not everybody wants to go work at Burger King or McDonald's. But if you put those down as ideas, then your brain starts thinking of the juicy, the fun, the good ideas that resonate with you, that feel good. And then you start coming up with the ideas that would feel like easy ways to make money. And our brain likes those kind of games.
Exactly. Like your brain wants to help you, but it's designed to notice everything that's wrong. So you have to tell it, hey, I want you to notice opportunities also.
Mm-hmm. And you mentioned earlier at the beginning, because I find I came into manifestation before I started going down rabbit holes of learning about spirit guides. So for you, how can you explain to people like what connecting with your spirit guides looks like or feels like?
Yeah. So everyone has a team on the other side, quote unquote, a spirit team with guides. And these guides can be composed of your ancestors. They can be even religious figures. Jesus be on a lot of people's spirit teams, even if it has nothing to do with Christianity, or even if it does. Ancestors, archangels, even just like entities and spirits. If people believe in aliens, you might have like an Arcturian influence there, whatever. So, connecting to the spirit team, step one, ask. Like they're not going to really interfere in your life too much. They want to be invited in, similar to money. So it's like, hey, spirit team, can you please send me a really aligned opportunity for me to 10x my income? And help them help you. Ask for help and notice the magical and mystical ways and the synchronistic ways that it shows up in your life. Because if you ask for it, it 1000% will. And if you don't see it the first time, they'll keep sending messages and it'll keep being more and more obvious and more clear until it's hammered into your little head of like, okay, this is what we want you to see or know or act on. And then follow that. and see where it takes you, because you don't have to manifest money all by yourself. You can literally call on people who have already done it before. You can be like, hey, Rockefeller, like, can you get on my spirit team temporarily and help me start this business? I have a friend who wrote a whole book called The Higher Help Method about calling people to your spirit team who might not even be on it and asking them to help you do something that they did when they were here. And they're happy to do it. I just wrote a new book and I asked Dr. Wayne Dyer, a famous Hay House author, like, hey, will you help me get a literary agent and write a successful book and land a great book deal? And I did. So coincidence? I think not.
Yeah. And it's all about your belief. Is it a coincidence? Is it not? And if
Right.
you lean into this is support for me, then more of that seems to show up. So let's talk about your new book.
Yeah. So it's called The Manifesting Fix. And it's really for everyone. It's really for everyone, but specifically everyone who's struggling with manifesting or feeling stuck or feeling blocked. Because where we've come to as a society is that manifestation is very mainstream now. We know a lot of manifesting techniques and methods and kind of the premise behind it, and we like how it sounds, and we've tried it here and there, but we're still like, universe, where the F is my $1,000,000? Where's my husband? Where's my dream house? Why isn't my life changing? What the freak, right? So if you're in that scenario, then you would hopefully manifest my book, The Manifesting Fix, which basically the entire premise is that the only thing that stops us from manifesting what we really want is resistance. So limiting beliefs, like we talked about, thoughts that are not supportive, talk tracks that are not supportive, like one part of you consciously wanting more money, but another part of you unconsciously sabotaging it every time because you're just not used to holding that much or whatever it is. So there's so many ways that resistance can show up that I had to write a whole book on it. And it basically helps you to identify like what your resistance is and how to unstuck yourself, delete it, untangle that energy so that you can actually align with your manifestation and then meet it halfway via action and attraction. So it really clears up a lot of manifesting myths, because I'm kind of like a hot take girly that doesn't have all the same perspectives as a lot of popular manifestation teachers, because if it was just as easy as thinking it into existence, we would all be billionaires on our private islands by now, but we're not, right? Why is that? It's because there's more moving parts behind the scenes than anyone cares to say, because it's not sexy to be like, oh yeah, manifestation is real. And you'll also have to act on your desires in order to make them happen, and you might have to give up your old life to invite in your new one. And you're going to have the audacity to go for your dreams, which is scary. So it's like, it's nuanced manifesting advice that I think people have been yearning for. So that's why I wrote the book.
Fun. Yeah, you can't have one life and have another. I know for me, the part of Canada I live, we get strong winters. And I'm like, oh, I would love to live somewhere where I can have palm trees. That would just be a really fun dream where I could walk sandy beaches and palm trees. That is one reality in my head. And my other reality is like, I want to be close to family. My sisters live here. Their kids live here. My kids have peer groups here. My parents are still here. My husband's parents are still here. So I'm like, I can't have the beach life, live their dream, and have my current life. So then I'm like, okay, I have to choose my current life and I can go on holidays whenever I want, right?
Exactly. Because who's to say you can't like rent an Airbnb on the beach for 2 months and live on the beach for 2 months of the year, but it's just not like every day, all day.
Yeah, exactly. So you can't be hanging on to one while you're trying to go for the other. And I think subconsciously we do that in all areas of our life without even realizing it until you have the epiphany or somebody holds the mirror up and like, you can't be going this direction and that direction at the same time. It's not possible.
Yeah. And like what I like to think is, yes, you can have it all, but just likely not all at the same time. So, like, how many people do you actually know in real life who have a perfect body, perfect health, perfect marriage, perfect kids, perfect friendships, perfect relationships with everyone, the most beautiful dream house, the most awesome career, everything all simultaneously? No, nobody has that life, right? You can, of course, have a super juicy, beautiful, aligned, abundant life, but there's always going to be contrast. There's always going to be room for improvement and expansion because that's what we like as humans. We like growth, we like opportunity, we like up leveling, right? And that wouldn't be possible if everything was perfect all at the same time. So call it a limiting belief, whatever you want to call it. I don't think it is. I think it's just a truth that if we ground ourselves in it, we actually open up more possibility and we can consciously choose what we want to experience right now without putting pressure on ourselves of, well, it should all be perfect at the same time. And it's like, that's not anybody's life that I've ever seen. I don't know about you,
No,
but
I love that. Like that to me felt really expansive by setting almost that boundary of, yes, you can have it all. You just can't have it all at the same time. That feels expansive. Like, okay, fun. And it allows people to go through the seasons of life. Like right now, I can't have a clean household and sit down and play board games with my kids and do all the things that they want to do at the same time. We get to play and then we have to do the cleanup, right? It doesn't all happen at once. So that feels really expansive.
I'm glad because I like to present perspectives that feel grounded in reality of the human experience, which is often ignored in the manifestation space. And yes, we do have limits as human beings, but if you play within those limitations, you can actually play the real game.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
On that note, I'd love for you to share what is your biggest piece of advice you have for someone to go out and create a life they love?
Okay. If you want to create a life that you love, first decide 1 to 3 keywords of how that feels. So is it nourishing? Is it expansive? Is it connection? Is it fulfillment? What are your top 1 to 3 key juicy feelings that you want, that you think this dream life will give you? And then how can you start to embody those more now? And caveat, side note, follow-up question, what's stopping you from embracing those feelings now? In addition to the talk track that probably says, I'll allow myself to feel expansive and connection and love and abundance and everything I want when I lose 20 pounds, make $1 million, get that job, have kids, don't have kids, whatever it is, right? We place so many conditions. So I would say, get rid of your conditions, focus on the feelings, and cultivate those now. And when you practice them more, they'll become more natural. And those vibrations will help to anchor in that new life from a manifestation perspective.
Mm-hmm. So true. I would love for you to share with the guests where they can reach out, continue this conversation with you, get your new book.
Yeah, so you can just search for The Manifesting Fix. Tentatively, right now, the book's coming out end of September 2026. So in the fall, whenever you're listening to this, you can probably pre-order or order it wherever you get your books from. So just search The Manifesting Fix, Kelsey Aida. All of my information is on my website, kelseyaida.com. Since you guys love podcasts, I got to point you to High Vibe in it. I think you guys will love it. If you're learning about manifesting, self-love, that's a great free resource. And yeah, I'm just Kelsey Aida everywhere on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, Substack. So just message me wherever you are. And I would love to hear from you.
Okay, awesome. Thank you so much for joining me on the show today, Kelsey.
Thank you.
Wait, before you go, I know you've got some big dreams and desires of your own calling to you. I'd love for you to come hang out with me inside Manifestation Playground on School. It's free to join and you'll get instant access to the Manifestation Vault and an amazing community of fellow manifestors. Come in, drop me a hello, share a win, or just quietly binge the tools, your pace, your vibe. Head to manifestationplayground.ca and I'll see you in there.